Welcome back to Omnifactory, and today we're going to get started with, I think, the wireless crafting terminal from AE2, because I want to have one of these walking around, well, for me able to walk around with it, I guess. And the wireless crafting terminal is fairly straightforward now that we have titanium available, at least a few titanium available. I've not made a massive quantity. The main thing is in here, you need a wireless receiver, and it needs an emitter EV. So if I just tell the system to craft one, I've put the recipe already in there, craft one of those. You'll see it requires 2 of our tier 4 circuits. Expensive, I know. Some platinum rods, some aluminium cable, all pretty straightforward stuff. And it does it pretty much immediately. So that just means we can just make the rest. So wireless crafting, we're going to need the wireless terminal itself. And that needs the wireless receiver. And I'm probably going to need to make another one of these, you know, because I'm almost sure you need it for the other part of this, but it's fine for now. Let's, I've not made the titanium plate, have I? Titanium, I've got 3. I need to make, whoops. There we go. I just need to make that into a plate form. I've just not put the recipe in. Not that I have a massive quantity of it right now, but yeah, we're probably going to need it sooner or later. So let's just... the processing pattern and titanium plate in a compressor. Yep, there we go. And we'll just put that up there. I've moved most of the recipes outside, and this can stay inside so that can get to go on processing into our wireless. Hopefully they'll appear. Yes, they are there. So we're just going to need 3 of those. Titanium. So that's 2. And my third one, please. There we go. So wireless receiver, and then the wireless crafting terminal. Wireless crafting terminal. There's the wireless terminal, which is most of it. And then a flux pearl and an Emmy crafting terminal, and we get a wireless crafting terminal. And it charges immediately. But you can see it says link status unlinked. And infinite range inactive out of infinite energy. Infinite energy 0, magnet card not installed. So if we right click, nothing happens. So we're going to need a security terminal, I'm almost sure. And I forget what these include. Oh, 16K ME storage component. So we don't already make that. So we're going to want those anyway for a quest. Why didn't you let me type 16? My number lock key off? Ah, works fine. 16K ME storage component. There we go. So that's some of the prior tiers of stuff, the 4Ks, and then a microprocessor, 3rd tier 3 circuit. So we're just going to make sure it knows which one of these to make. So I'm just going to make a tier 3 circuit so we can include it directly in here rather than get that whole thing of it not finding substitutes when we want it to craft circuits. So I'll skip forwards until that's done. We'll add this to a recipe and then we should be able to craft the rest. Let's just take a look at that security terminal again. Security terminal. We are going to need an ME chest. The system can already make those, I think, and the rest is a simple recipe. Okay, and the system is now hopefully finished with our 16K. Yeah, do take that out of the system, just in case we've got a quest for it. I think we do. Yes, 16K item storage. We get 5 Omni pennies for it, but it's better than nothing. There we go. And we're going to put it back in the system because it's going to need it for the security terminal. Security terminal. And that is done. Okay, so security terminal, that's 2 out of the 3 items. Well, there's 4 items, but the last one's optional. We need a wireless access point, just like you have in your house. You need the same thing for your AE2 system. And this, unfortunately, needs another one of those wireless receivers. So, yes, that needs another EV emitter. So the system is currently crafting one. While that is going on, I guess we're going to need some flux, more flux dust. Let's just craft a few. Yeah. Craft those up, and we'll make a flux pearl, so that doesn't take very much. 1, 2, 3, and there's my 4th flux pearl. I need to perhaps craft more clear flux crystals, but other than that, we just should need to wait until this is finished. But it's part way through. That's actually pretty far way through. It's only got to craft 1 more tier 2, and then it's into the 4 tier 3s, and then 1 tier 2 tier 4s, I guess. But yep, that shouldn't take very long at all, so I'll skip forwards. And in fact, I didn't skip forwards much at all because I wanted to talk briefly just about the boosters. Now, this is where it gets very, very expensive in this pack. So there are a couple of kind of boosters. Wireless boosters from A2, and I never remember the actual what they actually do. However, these are the ones that I'm normally interested in. The Infinity Booster cards. Place up to 2.14 billion of these into the Infinity Booster card slot of a wireless crafting terminal to add to the amount of Infinity energy stored. And Infinity energy allows one to use the wireless crafting terminal beyond the range limit of a wireless access point and be across dimensions. So if you're too far away from your wireless access point, normally you'll just get a message that says out of range. This lets you basically use up energy to get even further. However, each one of those, you can make 2.14 billion of them apparently, takes a wireless receiver, which takes an EV emitter and 3 titanium. Yeah, I don't think we're going there. So if I remember what the wireless booster does, maybe we'll have to go for that one and hope that that actually helps. I think that extends the range of the wireless access point, if I remember, but it's been a while since I actually looked at the sort of write-up of that on the wiki. That's finished. So our EV should be done. So that means we should be able to get a wireless access point together just by making one of these. That's another 3 titanium gone. I've only got 6 titanium total. So that makes a wireless access point. So that's the 3rd item. And then the Infinity Booster, of course, is the 4th item. So not the Infinity Booster, the wireless booster. Let's just make one of those just so I can check it out. So can we have all of those? We need some Fluix dust and some Ender Pearl dust. Ender Pearl dust is presumably just going to be Ender Pearls. Yeah, so let's just get some Ender Pearls and just crush those. And let's just tell the system to make Fluix dust. There, let's make 10, please. Yeah. And let's just go and macerate these. And we should be good to give this a go. You got to decide where you want the base, where the center of this is going to go. That's where you're going to put your wireless access point in. And you normally think it'd be right here, but this isn't the center right now. The center is somewhere around here where I'm standing. So I want to probably put the wireless access point below this grass area. And hopefully that will extend outwards to most of the areas that I need it, at least for the moment. So there's my Fluix dust and my Ender Pearl dust. Ender Pearl dust, where are you? Yep. There we go. So let's get, I don't know, a few of these. 16. And let's go and place this down. So the security terminal can go anywhere, and that's something that I probably should keep somewhere nearby here. So why don't we just get rid of you for a second, and we'll just put this down here. And then we should be able to link our wireless card using this. It is linked now. So right now, it's out of range. Basically, there is nothing for it to actually transmit to. I'm not sure if the wireless access point needs to be linked. Do you need to be linked? I didn't think so. No. Good. All right, so then we just got to choose a piece of handy cable to attach this to. Let's pop over the top and let's see what I have down here. Yep, there's a piece of handy cable. Let's just pop that on there. And we've got a wireless access point. Energy uses 8 AE per tick, okay, and a range of 16 meters. So 16 meters is going to be something like, this is fine. That's not fine. Okay, so let's try this with our wireless booster cards. So now our range is 80 meters. That's much more reasonable. And it uses up more energy, of course, but I can still use it out here. And that's, how about out here? Yeah, that's more than enough range for us, clearly. I mean, I suppose we could try and head that way. Still fine. Yeah, now we're out of range. So yeah, at some point our factory floor may need either another wireless booster card, a wireless booster point even, but that's not terrible by comparison to making infinite energy things, because they each require some of that titanium and some of the other components as well. So yes, we have wireless crafting now available, and our system will, my inventory capacitor will naturally charge this just fine. So we don't need the infinite range stuff. You may want to, however, think about putting a magnet card in here, and that will automatically pull everything into your system. That's quite a useful thing to have. We have a magnet available in our inventory, of course. I've got it in my backpack at the moment, but we shouldn't then for the most part, need this ender pouch, the white one, if we're in range. If we're not in range, then we will need it, but you can put it in your backpack through your ender pouch. So that got, well, another free slot available. And why am I still carrying some of this old stuff in my inventory? Another thing that I mentioned, or I saw something on Reddit, people asking about, are these legitimate that they've found in the game? And I found them as well. So these might actually be good to use in CEFs instead of connecting them to our main system. So, for example, I've got a second blast furnace out there now, and if can we actually make another CEF? It's going to object because I don't have energy alloy wire yet. But yeah, if you wanted to put them into the back around here, into the CEF, which will appear here pretty soon, you could use those instead of connecting it back to your system, and they should work fine as batteries. Okay, so we've got the wireless crafting thing done, and now we should probably move along to more of the quest line. We've got pretty much all of this first tab done. The second one, we want to go sort of this way. I've got all the capacitors and the circuit sort of quests done. It's going to say you're going to need more blast furnaces. Well, yeah, I've not got 4 of these yet, but you know, I've got 2 of them running. Well, 2 of them built, not necessarily running yet because I've not got a CEF. 16k fluid, I'm not too concerned about. Capacitors, I'm not too concerned about. I am going to worry about this right-hand side. I want to, first of all, get black steel running, and then probably the VAT quest, because this doesn't require too much. Let's just see if the system can build one. I may have put the recipe in the system. VAR. No, not VAR. VAT. Craft. Craft me a VAT. What are you missing? Bronze plate, and that's it. Bronze rings, fluid tank, obsidian. Wow, we need an obsidian furnace to make a VAT. I like that furnace though. Hang on, do we have a diamond furnace? We do have a diamond furnace. Okay, so we can just make another obsidian furnace. Obsidian furnace. That needs like, okay, that needs 7 obsidian. Let's just go and turn on our obsidian machine. Yep. Still have this out here. It is sort of useful. I don't convert all of our lava over in case I want lava for something else, but it's active with signal. Can I just get a lever? Oh, it's so handy to be able to just use this instead of going back up every time. So nice. Yeah, let's just turn you on and turn you back off again. And that should make obsidian. It'll automatically output into our system, so we can make the obsidian furnace just fine without sacrificing my nice little auto-burning furnace over there. So that VAT shouldn't be too much of a problem. It does need a few other things. One of them was bronze, but bronze is just, it's just copper and tin. Copper, let's just get, I don't know, it's 3-to-1 ratio, isn't it? I think, or 2-to-1 ratio. Could be 2-to-1. Let's just get some more copper. And let's just assume it's 3-to-1. I can never remember. What was I doing? There we go. So bronze. Let me just doubly confirm to make sure I'm not. Forgetting that bronze ingot is alloy smelter is 3-to-1. Okay, just dump that into our alloy smelter. And that's all running perfectly. I have to remember the white ender pouch is not there anymore, and I don't even need it. Okay, that can all go back in. A fluid tank, that's configured, but we can always make another one of those. And can you now pretty much make the VAT apart from that obsidian furnace? I need some bronze plate and a bronze ring, but they're straightforward. And the obsidian furnace we have to make. So obsidian is, well, we've still got quite a bit to go. One thing that is useful, however, this obsidian dust that you can get from outside, from our infinite sort of resource generation, is useful for a number of things, one of which is electrolyzing. You can make it directly into magnesium. Magnesium is the thing that you need to make titanium. So it's the fastest route to titanium is just to use your system. I think it's this one. Yeah, thermal elemental matter. Oh, it's out of polymer medium. Oh, I shouldn't be out of polymer. Wow, am I out of... Where's that gone? Where's that gone? Why am I out of polymer medium? That's interesting. Where is polymer medium made? It's in one of these, I'm sure. Is that because it's out of water? Yes, it's because it's out of water, and that's because the system was exporting it. But you know what? I think I'm just going to shift it straight back to the dense system, the dense, or indeed the end of wars. But the dense compact infinite water source actually works just fine. I'm just going to get rid of that for now. Let's grab my Yeti wrench. And for now, you can go away. And let's just dump this on top. Okay, that should start supplying polymer clay back again. But aside from that, when you actually do have a working polymer clay, you can just dump this into here and it'll start making obsidian dust. And you can see that's why I've been doing this, because this obsidian dust is quite valuable. And then you can just dump it into your system and there it goes. And you can just electrolyze it whenever you want. Of course, you do need to get the titanium tetrachloride, but aside from that, or whatever it's called, tetra something. So yeah, that's pretty much fine. Let's get that vat done. 6 obsidian. It's going to need just 1 more. So I'm just going to get some of that bronze, which is no doubt been done by now. The system doesn't have a bronze plate recipe. I guess we should actually do that. Let's just change to processing. Bronze plate. And is that not a alloy? Not an alloy smelter. A compressor recipe? Yes. And I never had enough space before, but because I made another one of these interfaces, this will do fine. I'll just dump some in there to get started. Then the vat can go, and the Obsidian Furnace should be doable by now, surely. The Obsidian Furnace. Oh, it needs 2. Oh, 2 diamond furnaces. Oh, do I have a gold furnace? I do not have a gold furnace. Do I have an iron furnace? No, actually, they don't have an iron furnace. Okay, we're going back to all of these. Do I have a copper furnace? I thought I had some of those spare. No, it seems I don't. 1 second, let me just make the basic furnace up. There we go. 1 obsidian furnace, and then we can just tell it to make the vat from that, presumably. Yes. And just bronze rings missing, and they are made from, I think, the bronze rods ring. Can we automatically make those? Yeah, bronze rods are probably the easiest. And bronze, do I have any rods? I do. So there isn't a recipe in the system for them, but we can just make them like this. And 1 vat. Oh, what's missing now? 1 obsidian. Really? You needed that? Really? Do I have that in the system? It is still crafting. Yep, so that 1 obsidian should have just appeared in the system. So maybe that vat will actually craft it all. Whoops, vat. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, that can now craft the vat. That'll get us that quest. This is heading us towards the whole rocket exploration side of things. Dew of the Void is next, and we need to probably just craft 1 Dew of the Void, so we can do that while it's crafting that, at least look at it. Dew of the Void is in the vat. It just needs resin ender, so you can just use a fluid extractor for that. We've got like 1 right there that I'm using. Yeah, hopefully this is just a basic recipe. 32 EU per tick. Yeah, I think that'll still do it. So then we need grains of pietzality and grains of vibrancy, and I don't think they're too much of a problem. They're just the crystals ground up in a macerator. Yeah, vibrant crystals, and I think I made a few of them. So let's just take a look. Vibrant crystals and pulsating crystals. Crystals. I made 4 vibrant, but I need some pulsating. And pulsating, I think, is not too much of a problem. It's like pulsating ingots, 4 of them. And is it just diamonds, I think? Pulsating crystal? It is just diamonds. So we've got plenty of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we just dump these in here. These in... Oh, go away. I was using that to make more certus, clearly. I just need to do that by another method. This can go in there. And now you just need to output from back. Why aren't you accepting? That's because that's an output. You need to just rebuild it. Let's just tell it can attach. There we go. Insert and extract always active. Yeah, there we go. That's going to make the crystals. We just need to macerate those up, and that should sort that out. Is the vat out yet? The vat is still crafting some dark steel. And pulsating crystals, 3 and 4. And we'll just go and macerate those up. Okay, macerator, just do that work upstairs. And that's going to take a little while, but not too long. Let's skip forwards. Get that Piet's, whatever it was, grains of Pietsality. And that should be enough to get the Void quest available. That goes to the Staff of Travelling. But I think we've already got Staffs of Travelling from exploring, but yeah, that's fine. Grains of Vibrancy is the other thing. So grain Vibrancy, we've got some of that. And then we'll just basically remove you. And we'll be able to put the vat in place, I think, because that's how we're going to do this. And yeah, the tanks are empty, so let's just go and grab some ender pearls. And how much ender pearls do I need to basically convert this over? So Dew of the Void, it's going to need 4 buckets per one, and we've got 4 of these, so basically 16 buckets. And 16 buckets will be a full stack of ender pearls. Fine. So for now, I'll just put in 1 stack of, well, when I say full stack, I mean full stack of 64. Ender pearls, of course, stack to not 64. They stack to 16 in this pack. I'm used to them stacking 64 in some other packs, but that's fine. We've got some resin ender. We need a capacitor in this thing, and it's going to need RF power, I think. Let's just get this octadic. Yep, the octadic can go in there. I need RF power instead of anything else. I'm not sure if I have any RF power around. No, I think it's downstairs somewhere. Maybe I will have to move this. Regardless, I'll go and figure out an AG solution. Back in a second. I just borrowed the mining capacitor. It's the easiest thing to do rather than route cables around. And they should start getting some power coming through. So if we just dump some of this in, that should start production. So if I just get some more ender pearls from our system, must train myself not to go to that that spot again, and I need to make sure I click on. Oh, that's so annoying. Turn this off. I need to click on that button. That's so annoying. Let's just search for something that isn't blah. Nope, it doesn't change the left-hand side. I hate the favorites sometimes. I want to click on that button right there. Oh, bookmarks. But that can't be the right solution. There has to be a solution to limit these to be less, well, basically, like, consume less space. I'm sure someone will be able to mention that in the comments, maybe, if they are aware of how to do that. Anyway, we're getting some output tank here of Dew of the Void. Can we just grab a bucket for that? Let's just grab a bucket and see if that'll let me grab it straight out of the tank here. If not, then we'll just output it somewhere. But yep, Dew of the Void bucket. And that's everything for that quest. Good. Dew of the Void. And yes, if you want a Staff of Travelling, I think I may have already got one. Yeah, I've got 3 of them. Basically, it lets you teleport around using travel anchors. So that's sort of a shortcut around your base. I already have the ender hook, and it's already pretty good at doing that. So yeah, it's up to you whether you actually want it. However, we could probably just put one in our inventory to complete that quest, I would have thought. Yeah, there we go. That was a complicated crafting. Let me put this Dew of the Void back. I can't really put it back. Let's just put it in the system. I'll just dump it in as a fluid. I think I made an extra fluid. Yeah, that'll be fine. And we'll dump the rest in the system as well. Stuff of the traveling. Yeah, so if you just shift right click, yeah, so you can zoom around this way. It is still sort of faster than you know, your ender hook, and technically you could use this to basically go upwards. Or not. Can you not go straight up? No. Okay. Fair enough. Oh, I'm ender hooked to the floor. That's probably why. Yeah. So you can use it to go upwards, and you can use your ender hook to pull straight back down. It's a transport option. Not necessarily whether I'm going to use it or not, but I'll put it in my backpack just in case I'm in another dimension and need to escape. It is another good option for that. Now, back across to the quests. went out to travel anchors, and that shouldn't be hard to make now, I don't think. They're just fixed points for the staff of traveling, so they're kind of useful, or they did used to be useful. And of course it needs a pulsating crystal, which I can't make anymore because I've moved the infrastructure for doing that. Yeah, let me just basically convert all this over into fluid, then we can get rid of it, and then we can come back and get some of those pulsating crystals and put this back near my miner. And no doubt to the cheers of everyone involved, I'm going to be converting across to using Emmy Conduit instead of Emmy glass cables, just so they fit in the same block space. It's just inconvenient to have them any other way, so if you're going to do that, you're going to need to put Emmy glass cable and one rubber sheet into the same system that we have for this early cable sort of basic assembly machine. You put your glass cable in this side, and then you put your interface recipe there, and then we should be able to get the system to make Emmy covered cable for us. And if we just put some glass cable in there, because the covered cable is the precursor for the Emmy Conduit, so we just need the Emmy Conduit recipe as well. That is actually a crafting pattern, so Emmy Conduit, and there we go. Oops, that's the dense stuff, we don't need that. There we go, Emmy Conduit, and we can put that in the regular recipe list. And I'm running out of space again, I've got one space left, wow. Okay, so we can dump that in the system, and then I can, whenever I want some Emmy Conduit, let's say if I wanted to craft 20 of it, system should already be able to craft it, and it's going to craft the first set immediately, but the rest is going to get hopefully crafted in this outside. So can it actually do that? It should have dumped everything in here. Oh, hang on. It's put it into the Watermill. That was the wrong place to put that. I need to put it in... How did I get stuff into here? That's a good question. I need to rework that. Never mind. For the moment, just dump it in here, and everything works. Sort of. Ignore the imperfections. I need to redo those. Anyway, where was I? Oh, I need to go and put that circuit back. Whoops. Did I take it out of one of these? No, I didn't. Oh, must just been in my inventory. Okay, so we need the dark steel plate, and I've just had the system and created that, and that can go over here. It just gets converted into a travel anchor, so that can get done for the quest. Yep, and that quest is now, whoops, quest is now done. So it's going to lead us into interdimensional teleportation. Okay, that's just a simple thing, clearly. Before you travel to the moon, you want to set up a way to easily return. Lay out 9 of the telepads in a 3x3 pattern. They should turn into a multi-block. We'll have some paper in your inventory. Use the coordinates selected to... yeah, this is going to be next episode, realistically, isn't it? So, we see some paper in the inventory. Use the coordinate selector. Let's just see how hard it is to actually make this. And telepad blocks. Travel anchors. Okay, so we can make that. It is just vibrant alloy, dark steel, and whatever is in the center. Dark steel again, octadic. So I need to train the system how to make octadics. I made those manually previously. Vibrant quartz is probably just vibrant and quartz. Yep, so that's not a problem. Coordinate selector is an MV emitter, which isn't too bad. And a block of enderite, which is not too bad either, and some electrical steel. So none of that's a problem, really. But we then need to obviously put telepads in each dimension. So telepads in the overworld is ready to go, and needs power, tank of Dew of the Void. Obviously, that's why we're creating Dew of the Void. And chunk loading wards. It stays loaded while you're on the moon. I'm not sure if the chunk loading ward would be needed, given that this pack has chunk loading anyway. But, yeah, not sure. Yeah, and bring the other 9 telepads when you go to the moon, and once they're set up a similar layout. The one on the moon will also need power, Dew of the Void, and a chunk loading ward. So we probably want some kind of interdimensional fluid, and ender tanks are kind of useful for that. So having an ender tank of Dew of the Void seems to be reasonable, and then you probably want to set up to just create more of it. And that you're going to need, obviously, ender pearls, diamonds, emeralds. Haven't got renewable emeralds yet, so I need to look into that. And then also, what was the other thing for those, for the crystals? Pulsating iron and whatever the equivalent is for the other crystal. Fine, and that's only once we get to the moon, however. So this is kind of a nice way to get back, or a way to get back, I should say, so that we can travel backwards and forwards. So, important quest, but not right now. I guess we're going to probably break there. It's a little bit short, but then we can get on with the rest of this next episode. and get into more stuff heading towards the moon. We're also going to need this spacesuit, I would imagine. I need black steel. Can we just finish that off just to consider the rest of the episode? What do we need to make for watermills? Watermills, because they are a nice immediate source. I'm going to need to put this in a recipe, aren't I? Watermill, and use my last slot. So I will probably get a couple of interfaces crafted up. If it can make them, it can't make two. It can probably make one. I'll just make another one off camera after the episode. And then we'll just put this final recipe in here, because I suspect we're going to need a few of them, but not too many. It's just nice to be able to have the system craft. And it can make everything apart from redstone gears and bronze rings, and we know how to make bronze rings already. Redstone gears, can we just make a bunch of those? They're redstonia crystals and conductive iron. The conductive iron gears are slightly annoying to make. You just need to set them up manually in an alloy smelter, so we just use the mold gear that we already have and some conductive iron. Conductive iron we have quite a lot of, so we'll just get the gear mold. One of them anyway. I made two accidentally earlier in the pack, and it should just make those gears up. And the other thing is just redstone. So if we just get some redstone and then make, I don't know, let's say 8 blocks. Whoops. And someone did recommend that I make this, by the way. You can just throw stuff onto it and it just starts triggering the atomic reconstructor. But yeah, much better than having a hole in the floor. Regardless, you can just use that to convert back and have redstonia crystals. That'll get everything you need. So the gears, you not come through yet? Wow, just take a long time to get those gears. Okay, so we'll do that next episode. I'll make some watermills. That's basically going to enable automatic GP rather than doing this, and that's going to get it going for a few other things. So the mill, watermill. Yeah, I thought we need other stuff that we don't have, but no, I made some stone buds. That's the other stuff that you do need. It's polished stone, which is just processed stone, basically, and that'll let you make watermills. I'll show you a decent sort of efficient layout next episode, and then we'll get on to the sort of space quests and see where we get to from there. If you like space, nice segue. Also on the channel, just started a playthrough of Stationeers on Mars with a little green man, the Zrillion race, which doesn't breathe oxygen, it breathes volatile. So if you're interested in that, go and check out the channel for the new Stationeers content. Otherwise, we'll see you next episode for some more Omnifactory. As always, thanks for watching, and feel free to put comments down below. See you next time.